Hello, everyone. Today is October 8th, 2020. This is your weather update. We're going to get into the winds that we've been experiencing here in the New York City metropolitan area. We're going to do an update on California wildfires. As you can see here, the smoke is just going bizarre, but there is some good news on containing the fires. Then we're going to talk about Delta. This storm just keeps gaining strength each and every day. It's just remarkable to think that Mother Nature still has more in store for us than we can intend to. And for the people of Louisiana, they just cannot seem to get a break and have to keep their guard up when it comes to what's going on here. I will mention that the Weather Channel is taking this storm Delta very seriously. They have been doing coverage all morning. They intend to do coverage at least until, from what I've heard, Saturday. So all the best to Jim Cantone as he has to head out there again. That's going to be... I know he's a hated person. A lot of people don't like him. I get all that. But he's a veteran in severe weather. So he's been doing this for years. So respect what he does. But if you do not have access to a TV and you somehow have a satellite radio subscription, the Weather Channel is now on the online app. So if you want to listen in, it's channel 721. Even though I can't understand why on the regular satellite radio, and they've done this in years past, when we've had hurricanes and tropical storms, why can't they just have a regular simulcast for people who are in the car and can only get access to satellite radio? I don't get that, but it's whatever. But I assume a lot of stations are going to simulcast, but Lake Charles, we know the situation with Lake Charles. The last time when they dealt with Flora, a lot of the TV stations got knocked out and we had to rely on our affiliates from Lafayette. So let's see what happens this time. Just randomly bringing it up. So I want to get to the wind because I think that's the most important thing. Says right here, spotter reports, and I'll center this. There we go. The wind speed that we got to yesterday, the highest that may have gotten, was around at least 15 to 20 mile per hour winds. However, the wind gust, when we look at that, we had wind gust in Connecticut near 63 miles per hour yesterday. That's alarming. You had wind speeds in Fairfield County. My mom's friend's daughter lives in Stamford. She's right by Boston Post Road. And she had to deal with all the winds yesterday. Queens, we definitely felt something yesterday. Definitely a 50 mile per hour wind gust had to be reported at LaGuardia. Surprisingly less at JFK, and I'm noticing the wind is still bad today, but it's supposed to only be at a 30 mile an hour wind gust. And the good news is we are in tap for an unusual summer-like weekend coming up in the New York City metropolitan area. In fact, it was so cold this morning, wind chills got into the upper 40s. And I'll show you that on the 3-day, because there was a wind chill mark today. So we actually, in the house, my dad, and I will mention today is his birthday. He didn't expect on his own birthday to get the heat ready for the upcoming winter season, because as I said, I'll give the city of New York credit. de Blasio budged, and we now have salt trucks going on Sundays because, we don't want to let our guard down with the weird weather that we seem to get this year. So, I'll give Mayor de Blasio my commends to that. Because I was supposed to ask him something on his public access show, but now I don't have to call in. But the wind gust, moving back onto that, at least there had to be something reported at LaGuardia. So we'll look at the text. So New Haven looks like it's the clear winner in the wind gust category. We look at the wind gust. It was 63 miles per hour, 6:05 p.m. last night. Now, I don't see anything observed at LaGuardia Airport, which is kind of alarming. But the good news is the FAA didn't hold any ground stops. It rained for a bit, but I didn't hear anything about a ground stop in any of the airports in the New York metro region. Stewart Airport, now this is interesting, 40 mile per hour wind gust. Great Gull Island in the North Fork, 61 mile per hour. So, obviously there's that. I don't know why they couldn't get anything for that. So we'll look at the wind chill. See if we can find it. Do apologize. Because I know where to find it. You have to go to the 72 hour. If I can't find it, then I do apologize. Because normally you'd think you'd be able to find it. Oh, fire spread. Where have we heard that before? This should be it. Do apologize. Thought I could find it, but I guess I can't. But I will find it. Hour by hour. Let's see. That's not it. This is so confusing. I used to be able to find the it. Unless you can go to current conditions. No, that's not it. Wait. I just realized how to find it. Let me type in my zip code. See if that comes up. Yeah, there we go. Do apologize. Because I forgot to find it. There's a statement. Let me look at this for a second. Let's see. Elevated risk of fire spread. So again, 30 mile per hour wind gusts are expected today. So that might become a problem. Okay, let's see if we can find the 3-day history. And there we go. Okay, good. So I'm thinking, I heard something this morning that there was a wind chill that was in the 40s. I don't know where I heard this from, but someone told me that today. I'm just trying to figure out. They don't have a wind chill. But what was the low last night? Okay, here's the problem. This is what I was thinking. 57 was last night's low. So I'm thinking probably because you have the wind gusting near 50 miles an hour last night, somewhere in the 50-40 mile an hour wind gust category, there'd have to be a wind chill that was in the 40s. So that's why, people think, oh, it felt like early November today, or late October. Well, that's not the case. So, let's just quickly go to windy.com. The wind gusts are going to die down tonight here in New York, and then they will gradually die down, as you can see here. Ooh, wind gusts near 20 mile an hour tomorrow. So when is the gust supposed to die down? That's the problem. So I'll just take a look at this. Alright, so it does die down by Sunday, but it's still going to be windy. Just wish we could have one day where there's no wind. Not too much to ask. Now, the alarming thing is, New York had a lot of outages. Upstate, 136,490. Massachusetts had 74,388. So let's just focus on New York, because New Jersey didn't have barely any outages yesterday. Causes of concern in New York are, of course, and let's just move this right here. You have Nassau County, Columbia County, Albany County, Schenectady County. So Albany got really hit hard with outages yesterday. Let's focus on that. Look at National Grid. 144,000 outages. Oops. Do apologize. Didn't mean to do that. It's okay. It happens. So let's see who leads in outages in New York State. So far, it looks like National Grid. Yep. And then New York State Electric and Gas. PSE&G Long Island's reporting more outages today in Suffolk. Con Ed's doing a pretty good job today, only 18 outages, so that's pretty good. But let's focus on Suffolk. Yeah, see that? 122 are out. Nassau only has 16. Yeah, but how's the Hudson Valley holding up? Yeah, Westchester's fine. Rockland's fine too. Orange Rockland Gas is holding up, so that's good. Let me just check Connecticut, because I bet a lot of people are complaining in Connecticut today. You would think Connecticut with 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, they would get upset that, yeah, here we go. Okay, Eversource is reporting 2,424. UIC is only reporting 2. So, good job on UIC. They're only reporting 2 outages today. But a lot of people are going to be upset with Eversource. I can't blame them. Okay, New Haven County. That's what I want to focus on. 114 out. So that's most likely Eversource. Fairfield has 151. So this doesn't make sense. Why are there more outages in Fairfield? Yeah, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Ooh, look at this. Windham County, Connecticut. 1,218 outages. And the outages in Massachusetts, they are largely contributed to Western Mass. Okay, so let's focus on Mass. Now, I know in Mass they also got Eversource as well, but National Grid is their other provider. So let's see how they're holding up. Plymouth County, 6,808. Bristol County, 1,203. Norfolk County, 12,1243. Suffolk is at 532. Middlesex, 8,904. Worcester, 19,571. Hamden, 7,470. Hampshire, close enough. Yeah, so a lot of outages in Massachusetts, just because you had not only the wind that got involved yesterday, but you also had the severe thunderstorms that were going through, and I was keeping an eye on them on the radar yesterday, so that's kind of alarming. Why is Texas seeing outages already? That's kind of alarming. Let me look at Texas. I didn't want to go to Texas, but this is kind of alarming. Oh, okay. This little county up here. I don't want to get involved in that, but I'll have to monitor Louisiana because obviously that's where Delta's supposed to make landfall. Now let's focus on California. That's what we want to go to today. That's our main cause of concern. Okay, let's get to our numbers for California. Do apologize. Oh, good. Imperial County went down. But San Diego County, 213. What is going on with SDG&E today? Ah. Why do the wildfires in the northern part of the state, why does SDG&E have to shut off the power? You know, I don't get that. Shame on you, SDG&E. By the way, that's San Diego Gas and Electric. I know the utility out there pretty well because, again, it's been a lot of my childhood years on the West Coast. So, just for the record. Okay, Napa. Looking at 2006-22 today. Trinity is at 491. So, as they're slowly trying to contain the wildfires, that's the good news. Let me check Contra Costa. Remember, Contra Costa had about 200 plus people out. So how's PG&E holding up today? 165. Because I only heard from Elliot earlier in the afternoon yesterday, but I haven't heard from him since. So I have a bad feeling there's a couple outages in Martinez, which I'm not even going to check the map because that might give me more agita. So... Alright, so let's get to our wildfire update. I actually have some good news on the Zog fire. 90% contained. That's very good. Glass fire is 66% contained. And where's the fire in Fresno? Oh no. Still no improvement in Fresno. That's not a good sign. Alright, now let's move on to Delta. So first of all, this is very alarming. See that? There's an eye. There's an eye right there. So, as you can see, it's just getting close. I can even see an eye on here. See? There's an eye. See that? Watch. There's the eye right there. That's an eye. That's an eye. My goodness. Here is, I was able to pull up overnight into sunrise. There it is. You can see at the end of the image, the eye does form. That's the eye right there. That is just scary to think there's an eye that's just slowly forming. Here's the infrared. Looking at a couple infrareds, as you can see here. There's an eye also forming. Let's see if we can put the eye up. Yeah, the eye's trying to form right around there. And then you got this one over here. So now let's go to my radar and get to the current conditions of Hurricane Delta. I will let my radar load in the background because it does load. It is worth it. It is worth it. Trust me. So let's see if we can pull up my radar. I don't know why I cannot pull up my radar. It's having an issue today. There we go. Okay. Here is Delta on my radar. So let's pull up the information on Delta. Currently right now, Delta is a Cat 2, forecasted to become a Cat 3, possibly make landfall as a Cat 3 in western Louisiana. But the Storm Prediction Center is suggesting, and I'll show you this as we go along here, Storm Prediction Center thinks there's a slight risk of severe weather in the eastern part of Louisiana, yet the 11 a.m. Central Time advisory claimed that it's moving west. So I don't know what's going on with the people in Oklahoma today. Maybe they think it's another band. Could be this band that moves a little bit to the northwest. It is possible with these storms. So wind speeds 104, gusting at 127. The pressure is at 968 MB, so that's definitely a Cat 2. Moving very fast at 14 miles an hour. But on the NAM, it's moving very slowly. So, get into that. One last satellite view of Delta. Pull it up right now. Do apologize about the blank screen. We'll get that fixed in just a second. And there we go. Okay. Satellite view of deltas right here, as you can see. Okay, so we will read the advisory. So the update is hurricane warnings, and I'll show you this on the cone. We'll get to that first. We'll read the advisory right now. So it says life-threatening storm surge expected near and east of where Delta will make landfall tomorrow, and a storm surge warning is in effect from High Island, Texas to Ocean Springs, Mississippi. The highest indication of 7 to 11 feet expected somewhere between Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge and Port Fortran, Louisiana. Residents in the warning area should promptly follow advice given by local elected officials. The storm surge risk remains high despite the forecast decrease in intensity before landfall, since Delta is expected to grow in size. Hurricane force winds are expected tomorrow afternoon and evening somewhere within the hurricane warning area between High Island, Texas and Morgan City, Louisiana. Hurricane force winds will spread inland across portions of southern Louisiana near the path of Delta Center Friday evening and Friday night. Significant flash flooding and minor to moderate river flooding are likely in parts of Louisiana Friday and Saturday, with additional flooding in portions of the central Gulf Coast into the lower Mississippi Valley. Okay, so now what we need to do is look at the public advisory. So we want to look at the hurricane warning specific. It says here, hurricane warning in effect for the Texas coast from High Island to Sabine Pass. So I want to go to where we were before. We want to go to here. That's what we want. Give a better illustration. So from here, right here in Texas, all the way to here. But there's a tropical storm warning in effect for New Orleans. Now the problem is the bands of rain are going to end up going through Louisiana and then going through here. So if I were the Storm Prediction Center, I would issue a day 2 probability tomorrow for slight risk of severe weather. Just saying. Okay, so let's get into the arrival time of winds. We are looking at the earliest reasonable arrival time of tropical storm force winds, and this is probably going to take a while to load because this is such a big picture, and it's going to take a while to load up, unless maybe it's my Wi-Fi. There we go. Now I got it. So the earliest this wind could arrive would be sometime tomorrow morning. So that is alarming. Now we'll take a look at the rainfall. Rainfall, inland Louisiana, 10 inches. Flash flooding. Looks like the greatest risk would be Saturday morning. So this looks like close to Lake Charles. So again, it's been very rough for Lake Charles. The last thing they need is more of this. And then we will look at peak surge. So it's very concerning. I think that we're going through this all over again. Here are the spaghettis. More spaghettis. Looking at a Cat 2 at a potential landfall potential. This one thinks it's going to be a Cat 3, but I would not. I would agree with everything that Cat 2 is a probable chance right there. Okay, let's go to the Storm Prediction Center. Okay, so move this a little bit to the left. That's better. Marginal risk today. Day 2 outlook has the following. Slight risk. But why in eastern Louisiana and western Mississippi? I do not know why. That is kind of concerning. And then we'll look at day 3. The marginal risk goes east. Mississippi and Alabama. Okay, let's wrap it up with our GFS model. Let's get into this. So, we're looking at right now, 973 suggests a Cat 2. That's what we're looking at right now. So, you see here, there it is, Cat 2, Saturday. It slowly comes Friday night into Saturday. Wee hours of the morning, it looks like. Then all the moisture ends up into New York. That will have to be monitored. Last but not least, let's take a look at our NAM. And I want to show you how slow this storm is moving on the NAM model. It is so slow. And then you have it hitting Lake Charles. So, there goes the heavy bands, but cause of concern would be, there it is. Moisture ends up into New York. So I will have to keep an eye on that. One last satellite view of Delta. There it is. And again, you can see here the eye is just trying to form here. In fact, I'll refresh this, because there's something wrong with the satellite. Something must have interfered with it up in space. Yeah, there we go. See, that's the oddest thing. I'll pause this. Let's see what I can do here. That's better. So there's the eye. That's why the satellite's probably having a hard time trying to decode it. The eye is just right there. And it needs to be, once again, closely monitored. So, with that, I am going to wrap this up. Thank you all very much for watching. Stay safe if you are in Louisiana. This is the last chance to prepare now for another catastrophic storm that could hit Lafayette and Lake Charles, Louisiana this weekend. More updates to come. Thank you for watching. Until the next one, please take care.